in a season I just could not put words to of how I was feeling, and feeling like coming out of a season of being isolated and trying to actually hide myself, I actually felt seen. And people were showing me that, like, we see you and you deserve this, and we want to make sure you feel that. And it meant so much to me. Like, I'm almost emotional. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of I Wish I Could Make This Up, but it's real life. Super excited to be back with y'all. I'm so glad you're still tuning in. If you're watching this, thank you. I'm gonna just start with that because you could be doing anything else, but you're watching my podcast, so it means a lot. Only a couple questions on my list today, because y'all know I come with the phone, I come with the questions. Only a couple, but I think y'all know I like to talk, I like to tell stories. So we'll probably go for a little bit, but looking back, what advice would you give to others considering marriage at a young age? Which, again, I think I said this previously. I don't know that being in your late 20s is a young age for marriage, because historically, people were getting married pretty young. But at this age, as a millennial, the advice I would give, this is a hard one for me, only because I feel like what qualifies me to give advice, you know? But off the top, one thing for sure is that if you're considering marrying someone, you need to make sure you've been around the community and make sure they've also been around your community, and not just once. Not like, oh, come and meet my friends and y'all hang out one time and it's like, oh, he's nice or she's nice or whatever. No. Like, start to really integrate your communities and your lives, because you need the support, but also usually when you're doing that, the people that you're meeting on their end and the people they're meeting on your end, they know you better than your partner, because they've probably known you longer and they know you a little deeper. So bring each other around, come around your family, come around your friends, so they can be the extra set of eyes and ears when you're dating, prior to getting married, prior to being engaged. Because these people, if they really love you and care about you, they're not going to push their opinion on you, but they're going to tell you the things that they see. And sometimes those people see things that we don't see. Because when you love somebody, you know, you're infatuated, you like them, you love them. Sometimes it's just lust. God bless you if it is. But whatever it is, the L words, like, love, or lust, your mind gets clouded. So especially when it's a romantic situation. So you need to bring these people around your family and your friends. You need to go around their family and friends and let them kind of be the eyes and ears as well. If you trust your friends, your parents, your siblings, whoever, your cousins, your aunties and uncles, let them kind of just embrace that individual and get to know them. Because if they care, again, they're going to tell you. They're not, maybe in the moment they won't say anything. But after the fact, they may say, look, I noticed something when we were all hanging out, or we were talking about something and I didn't really like what they said, or it didn't sit right with me. And then you can do whatever you want with the information, but at least give them the chance to kind of meet this individual and say, either we rocking with it or we not. Because if you trust these people, you're going to take their opinion and you're going to put some thought and consideration into your next steps. So that's one piece of advice I would give. Definitely bring your person into your community, and then also, like, step into their community. It's so important. Another piece, this shout out to Tyler Perry. Y'all used to watch those Tyler Perry plays. If you look at this right now, I don't care if you leave a comment about this whole episode. I need you to go in the comments right now and say, yes, I used to watch those Tyler Perry plays. Or no, I never seen one. I need to know. And I mean the plays, not the movies. Because one of the plays, I don't remember which one it was, but one of the plays, he was talking about, like, needing to see somebody in every season. And it's true. It used to seem cliche because it was like, okay, like, whatever. And if you don't really know, you know, if you're not maybe grown, your mind automatically goes to like the actual 4 seasons. But it's like, no. Like, yes, but no. You need to see this person with all the emotions. Happy, sad, angry, upset, grieving. Like, you need to see everything. So that I agree with. I think it's so important. It is imperative that you see this person when they're experiencing all the different emotions. Because, and of course you can't, some things don't happen until they happen. So it's like, you just might not see them grieving. Like they might not have experienced a job loss or like losing a person that's in their life, to death or whatever. But, or even just grieving a person that decided they want to cut them off. Like you may not see it, but at some point it's going to happen. It might be 3 years down the line. So you never know, but you want to try your best to like see them in every season or as many seasons as you can before you really lock in and say, look, I'm gonna be with this person. Now, unless y'all just go through some really hard times together, then you just like, I'm locked in. So whatever comes, I feel that, because you really might experience something where it's like, I don't care what happens. I'm with this person. I love that. Because if that's the case, you probably can get through anything. But if that's not the case, like, give it some time. Really get to know this person. Date this person. Allow them to date you and court you. And see them in different seasons. Because you want to see them, see how they react in situations. See how they react when they don't get their way. See how they react when they do get their way. See how they react when they get great news. And then see how they react when they get bad news. You need to see it, because I think everyone's entitled to react however they want, because sometimes we don't even know how we will react. But you have to see in that moment, does that align with the type of person I want to be with? Does that align with the vision I have for myself? And if it does not, you're able to make a decision and say, I'm not knocking how you reacted to this situation. It doesn't really work for me. So you need to see that. So that's another bit, like, be with somebody and just take your time to see them in different seasons of their life and different seasons of yours, because how you react to something and how they receive your reaction, that's a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? So like, you could have good news and they could be over here hating on you secretly, but then it's like, they're not even congratulating you, or they congratulate you, but it's like, it doesn't feel genuine, or it doesn't feel sincere, or they're not really giving you your flowers the way you want to receive them. Y'all have to see each other in those seasons. Because again, it might not align, and you might be like, yo, this don't work for me. I don't like it. And that's okay. Somebody out there will like it. So that's something that I think is super important. I could give y'all a third one, but I really don't want to force it. So I'm just going to go to the next question, which is, how has this experience shaped my view on relationships and marriage moving forward? This is loaded. But I will start by saying, I believe in love. I believe in marriage. I think it's beautiful. As y'all know from the first episode, I grew up in a household. My parents are still married, 35 years, coming up on 36. And, my grandparents have been married a long time. I just have a lot of family members that have been married for a very long time. And I have friends that are currently married and thriving. And I think it's beautiful. And it's definitely something that I still want. I want to be married one day. I pray to God that next marriage is my last one, because I would hate for it not to be. But I will say, in this space, I am back in the dating game. And it's different here. I'm actually a little beside myself right now, because I did not anticipate talking about this in this episode, but based on that question, it has led me here. But I believe in relationships. I believe in love. This experience actually did not turn me off from that at all. And I was told by certain therapists that there are a lot of people who just kind of become bitter. Women specifically, they become bitter when they're in these situations, and they just shut down and they kind of go off and, they look down the line. It's like, wow, all these years have passed and I'm still single. Yet in their hearts, they really desire being in a relationship or being married. I never felt like I didn't want it. I was just kind of like, well, this one ended, boom. Somewhere down the line, I intend to get married again. I intend to have a family. And I still feel that way. So I'm so grateful that like God really placed that in my heart where it's like, this did not taint my hopes and my desires. I still want what I wanted before. But I will be honest, being in the dating game now is different. Like I felt a little removed from it. And even though I was not married super long, like I still was dating him from the time I was dating him to the time we became divorced. Like I was out the game for a little bit, and being back in it, I'm just like, oh my gosh. I hear people on social media, everybody, I'm gonna say exactly what I've seen. And it's so repetitive and annoying because people be saying it's pee in the dating pool and it's other stuff in the dating pool. I mean, I'm sure it is. You know what I mean? It's in regular pools too, if you go to the nasty ones. But I just cannot sit here and act like there are not good men out there. And I'm going to take it a step further because I date black men. I'm not going to sit here and act like there are not good black men out there. I think there are some great ones out there. But what I will say is like entering the dating space after what I've been through, it has forced me to really look at myself and understand that although I feel healed, not completely, I'm still healing, but like I do feel like I'm further along on this healing journey than I was, even 5 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. I realize I still have trust issues. I have triggers. And that just comes with the territory, of going through a separation and divorce. Obviously, I'm going to be triggered. But I also have this newfound wisdom too. So my tolerance for certain things, it is lower than low. It is low. There's some things I'm just not going to deal with. If I don't like it, okay, I'll have to put up with it. I think I'm quicker to say what I don't really like, quicker to acknowledge what I'm willing to put up with, what I'm willing to accept. And if feelings become involved, then it's like I'm quicker to express that because I feel like let's listen to this, but where you at, where am I at? Let's see if this is gonna work or not. I haven't necessarily gotten that far, but I've been dating. I've been trying. I don't date as much, but I've gone on dates. And sadly, y'all don't be getting more than one or two. But, it's a space that I'm willing to explore because I feel like what I was told from my trauma therapist, based on things she has seen with her clients, women that come out of a divorce, especially due to infidelity because of the trust issues, they get so comfortable with being alone and they might go on 1 or 2 dates and then they kind of just shut back down because something happens that they don't like. And then they look up and years have passed and it's like, oh, I'm still in the same space. I do not desire to be there, mainly because I want children and I would like to have them naturally. So I'm like, we're going to have to date. Because at some point we're going to marry somebody else and then we're going to start a family, all the things. I want all the things. But this newfound wisdom, it's just, I'm tapped in more with my discernment, my intuition. So it's like things that don't really serve me, I can address them because I acknowledge them. I notice them quickly. So I'm able to kind of like move along if I need to. And that I can appreciate. So, I believe in love. I believe in relationships and marriage. And I feel like at this stage, like I'm 30 now. So I think it's like a sweet spot. I would call it a sweet spot because I don't think I'm too young or too old. But I do feel like this is a really good age to kind of like, explore what is there what is coming to you. Don't explore anything that does not serve you. Now, as a little segue into that, I think sometimes we have these expectations of ourselves, and it's one of those things where it's like, I have this newfound wisdom. I have this intuition. I'm tapped into my discernment. So you really get on this little high of like, that ain't right. Or this ain't this, or that God is showing me. And it's like, whoa, now. Relax. Because it's like you start to get ahead of yourself. It's like you think you know something that, it's not the case. But what I have found in this journey is like, God is always going to show you signs. And if you really are tapped in, you don't have to go looking for the signs. They're just going to show up. And I'm going to give y'all an example or a few examples of like how I started to see this, because I started dating again, where it was like a time I didn't necessarily feel like I was ready, but I started dating again because I was talking to one of my therapists, and, she was kind of like, she made a suggestion. She was just like, I think you need to explore something that might be uncomfortable for you, but you need to get yourself out there. And she told me, I don't know what that looks like, but don't get comfortable in this space because there is a light in there and it needs to shine. So she's like, you have to explore things that make you a little uncomfortable because you will thrive there if you just put yourself out. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And in that season, that space, y'all, I said, I'm going to be a little more open. I'm going to talk about what I'm going through. And with people, not strangers, but with just people that are in my life, men and women, because you can have platonic relationships with people of the opposite gender. Let's not be confused. So, friends and family wise, I'm just being candid and not sharing detail, but I was sharing, being more open. And do y'all know, probably for like 2 months straight, I literally started receiving flowers. Like, how people say, like, give people their flowers while they're here to receive them? Or while they're here to smell them, rather. I was receiving flowers from people, men and women, where I'm like, either they were showing up at the house, or I would be out with a friend and then or meeting up with a friend. And then it's like, when I meet them, they have flowers waiting for me. This happened for 2 months straight. I kid you not. The camera can't see it and we will not pan. But I have roses right here, 2 dozen. And I let them, they dried up. But y'all know, like, dried up roses, they're still very beautiful. I have them sitting right here. But like that set of roses like kicked off the whole 2 months. I lie to you not. And it's so cliche. I'm like, I can't make this up. I wish I could make this up. But seriously, it just happened. And it kept happening for 2 months straight, where I was like, why am I receiving these? Why are y'all giving me these? Why are y'all putting these together? Friends making their own bouquets and just sending them to me or giving them to me. It was the sweetest thing. And in a season that I really couldn't put words to, God was showing me, one, your village cares about you, but also learn to embrace this. And a little fun fact I'll share with y'all. I used to think flowers was kind of corny. When women receive flowers, I used to be like, I remember in college, this guy he wanted to take me out for Valentine's Day, and I liked him. So I was like, okay, cool. But he had got me flowers, and I was like, okay, this is cool, Valentine's Day. But then there was another occasion where he got me flowers. It was not Valentine's Day. And my first thought was, why is he giving me flowers? And I really had to learn to just, one, accept it and receive it. But also be mindful that it's just a nice gesture. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. The gesture itself is what you need to appreciate. It doesn't matter if you like the flowers. Just appreciate the gesture because they didn't have to do it. And the older I get, I realize I love receiving flowers. It just makes me smile. I do have a favorite type of flower. I have 2 favorites, but I realized girl, that is so sweet. Because if you give somebody flowers, whether you showing up with them or sending them to them, you definitely went out of your way. Because you definitely didn't go out into the backyard to get them. So that means you went and picked them up, or you at least went online and sent them to wherever, they're addressed. But you just don't have to do it. And so in that season of receiving, literally, I lie to y'all not 2 months straight, just flowers. to the point where I was almost like, okay, I have more. I need another vase. Like, I don't even know where to put these flowers. What room are these going to go in? But it made me feel so loved. It made me feel so special. And I realized, like, I went so long experiencing lack, like a lack of care and a lack of healthy affection, because you can receive affection. Doesn't mean it's healthy. I went so long without it that, like, in a season, I just could not put words to of how I was feeling, and feeling like coming out of a season of being isolated and trying to actually hide myself. I actually felt seen, and people were showing me that, like, we see you and you deserve this, and we want to make sure you feel that. And it meant so much to me. Like, I'm almost emotional. I don't want to mess my makeup up, but I think I just was, I was shocked. I didn't expect it, at all. I think I just had never experienced that before. Like, outside of my dad, you know, and having a dad is like, I'm so grateful, but you almost feel like, well, he's your dad. He's supposed to do that, you know? And I know that's not everybody's reality. So I think it was just shocking, but I needed that. Like, and it's something so simple as flowers that I swear I never liked it. I didn't care for that. It meant so much to me in that season. So if you're one of those people that sent me flowers in that season, because it was multiple people, just know it just meant so much, because I didn't expect it. I didn't even know I needed that. Something so simple, you know what I mean? And let me be honest, I don't have a green thumb either, so I knew they weren't gonna last too long. But it just meant so. It's like I don't care if they last for a day. They all lasted more than a day. But it's like, if they lasted just a day, just to receive it was like, wow, you were really thinking about me, you know? Just in the most least expected, the moments I least expected. So, wow, y'all, I can't believe I'm crying. All right, so of course I have to do the pleasantries of saying like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Everything is under I Wish I Could Pod. So TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything. So y'all, you know, the whole flower thing, flowers are not super significant, but in a season where you feel like, you know, everything has been just ripped from under you, and you kind of start wondering, like, where is my place in this world? Not so much putting your identity in a relationship, but a woman in America, it's like, you have to know, historically, part of your identity kind of stems from, like, being in a marriage. And so when you go from being in a marriage to being divorced at this age, you start wondering, like, am I tainted? Like, what's going on? But I have to admit, aside from the women, love y'all, y'all are great. But it was really from my guy friends who just stepped in, and they really didn't have too many words. And I hadn't even, to this day, I have not even shared full details on my situation and what I went through with my guy friends, because they're kind of unhinged and they love me. So I was like, ooh, if I share this with them, they might try to find this. I don't know. I just don't know what they might do. But like, it was my guys that really just stepped up, like, look, we're just gonna send this girl some flowers. And they had these nice notes. Some of them even was just like, let's go get some food. One of them went so far as to say, let's record over the tapes. This right here, I gotta mention this. And I'm not even gonna mention his name. He knows exactly who he is. But he took me one day, he was like, let's link up. We bond over wine and also just like culture. So we love Spanish, Latino culture. We both speak Spanish, and we just bond over that. So he was like, look, I know where you were proposed at. or proposed to at, and he's like, I'm going to take you to that same restaurant, and what I like to call it, we're going to record over the tapes. We're just going to create a new memory. And he took me there. Well, we met up there, and when I got there, he had, which I found out at that moment, he arranged the floral arrangement himself. And he was just like, look, I looked up the color of this. It represents friendship. And I just wanted to do something nice that would make you smile. And it's like, at that point, I had already been receiving flowers. But to even receive them that day, it was just the intentionality that really did it for me. But in that span of that 2 months, my guy friends, they really showed up for me. And it was like, some of them don't even live here. Some of them are in different states. But they just were sending me flowers, making sure I felt seen, heard, loved, appreciated, all the things. And it went far. Like, it did so much to my heart. That's why I started crying. I'm like, oh my gosh. I never really sat and processed it. I kind of just in the moment was like, this is sweet. And I appreciate it. But thinking about it, I'm like, wow, it did a lot for me. Like, way more than I could have even imagined that I needed in that moment. And so the guys, y'all held it down. And it let me know, like, God was still looking after me and showing me, like, men are not bad people. And although I didn't have that thought, I think God was trying to, like, reinforce, like, please don't go that route. Men are not bad. There are great men out there. And there are great men out there that don't want anything or are not expecting anything from you. You know what I mean? Like, they could just want to show up and be kind to you. And so it did help maintain the heart that I had. I was trying to make sure I softened my heart, because I will admit it kind of hardened over time. And I think that's natural. I think that's a natural response after coming out of, what I came out of. But those gestures of just reminding me, like, we care about you and we want you to feel special with no strings attached, it helped soften my heart a little bit, where I was like, dang, I can like rest in my feminine energy and not feel like I got to be this hard girl because it's happened to me. That's not cute. It's not cute. And I never want that. I don't know any men that want that for a woman. Like, a woman they want to be with, they don't want you to be hard, but I can understand why we do turn that way when things happen to us. So it was just a nice reminder repeatedly, because the flowers were coming. I feel led to share this. Like, because we do this as humans, and it's natural. We have these thoughts of people where we're like, we want to check in, or we want to send a gift, or we want to do something. And then we start to overthink, well, if I do this, it could be taken like this, or it could just do it. Just do it. Like, this ain't no Nike situation. Like, just do it. Just do it, because you literally never know what it would do to somebody. Y'all see, I just sit here and cried over flowers I got months ago. About it, I'm like, wow, that actually meant way more to me than, like, sometimes even a text to see, like, how are you doing today? Because I am an individual that gets overstimulated quickly. A text, I'll be like, oh God, another text message. But, like, you just send me flowers, it means so much. So if you're thinking about somebody, or you just want to send them something and then let them know, like, I'm thinking about you, or they're going through something that you actually don't know how to support them through, whatever gesture you're thinking of, just do it. Don't think twice. Just do it. I promise you it will go a very long way, and it will mean more to them than those small little text check-ins and phone. The phone calls are great, but send them something. Send them the flower. Send them a card. I love handwritten cards. I'm a Cancer though, so maybe that's just me. But, like, I love that stuff. But just whatever gesture, if you want to check in, do it. Do not overthink, because it definitely goes a long way. Everybody likes to be considered, and consideration sometimes can get you further than, that little, like, hey, how you do? Like, do a nice little thing. Consider somebody, invite them out. If you're, like, concerned about what they're going through, or like, oh God, they going through, they probably don't want to be around people. Don't assume. Let people make decisions for themselves. I don't want this to be 20 more minutes, but I am going to say this. Do not make decisions for other people. That was something in my situation. I noticed they were doing it for me. They felt like, well, she don't want to be around people. She's isolating herself, so let's not invite her. The FOMO was real. Invite me, please. I want to go to the functions, please. So invite people. Don't leave your friends out. if you have somebody in your life that's going through something and you know that they're dealing with something that's hard, allow them to make decisions for themselves. Because if they are emotionally intelligent at that time that they're going through something, they will be able to make the decisions for themselves. So I know that was kind of like a random, but like, I felt the need to say that because I'm just like, as many times it happened to me, and I still love y'all for trying to be considerate, but allow those people to make decisions for themselves, because you just never know what could be a blessing to them. So again, send them the flowers. And I keep looking over here because I got some flowers over here, but send them the flowers, send them the card, send the text, make the phone call, hit them up and say, look, if you want to chat, I'm here. Check in, don't overthink it. You know what I mean? We're in a generation that overthinks. I'm one of those people, but I'm trying to do better. But I'm gonna leave y'all here because I could talk all day about this. I'm gonna say, if you have not watched any previous episodes before today, because this could be your first one, and if it is, I love that for you. But I would suggest go back to the beginning. Start at episode 1, and please go through. You don't have to watch them in order. Some of them you might want to watch them in order, but episode 1 for sure. Like, start there, and then however you choose to watch, I'm open to that. I love it. I'm just happy that you watched. So please, please, please go back if you have not already. Watch episode 1 and just hit the next one. I try to keep them short for y'all because I do understand the generation we're in, and I get it. These attention spans, longer than 30 minutes, we might lose somebody. So I get it. So we will be mindful of that, you know. But go back and watch. Like it if you enjoy it. Share it if you want to. You might not want to. You might not relate. Even if you don't relate, still share it, because you never know. Again, let people make decisions for themselves. Share it and then let them see if they relate to that. And then lastly, please subscribe. If you have not already, subscribe to us on YouTube. I Wish I Could Pod. And, you know, go follow us on Instagram. We're up there at I Wish I Could Pod. Because really, that's where you're going to get the most. I will be honest. That's where you're going to get the most action. But we're on all social platforms at I Wish I Could Pod. And I'm just so happy you came to another episode. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.